about that ever troubling phenomena, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, or the girlfriend we don't have, or the boyfriend we don't have, and all that we go through around those types of things. And there's a reason why like dating sites are just, lots of people are using the internet for trying to meet people, and there's lots of how do you meet your perfect partner, and there's a lot of emphasis in this world put on the partner. And everybody knows, everybody's been through it. No one seems to learn. Just keep on getting hit over and over again by the same thing. But we can learn and about how a relationship can be a beautiful thing, and how the harmonious relationship comes from the inside. It comes from within ourselves, and there is no outer relationship anyways. It just seems like there's an outer relationship. And so we all have information that we have consciously, subconsciously absorbed through our lives, and it's interesting the things that which came first. The way that we thought our parents were, or the way they were, and what. So most of our ideas about relationship and how we relate to them, you start from mom and dad. And what is easy to misunderstand and not see is that as a child and as we grow up and become teenagers and young adults, so many of us assume that we know what our parents are thinking. And we think that we know our parents' relationship. And that as if I could know how my dad thought about my mom. And as if I could know how my mom thought about my dad. As if I could know that. And yet, I thought I knew that. And what I didn't know was that I would have to interpret their relationship through my own way of seeing the world. And it's like we talked about last class, how if you open up your channels, if you pop off the cork and the joy begins to flow from inward, everything looks different. And we talked about that the once mundane bush that we're seeing in a piece of shrubbery suddenly transform into a magical world of multi-level life of all sizes and shapes that you just go into and you're like, wow, this is the most amazing thing I ever saw. When it's the same bush it was 5 minutes before that or 1 minute before that. And it never was the shrubbery. It was your perception of the shrubbery and how your mind, the shape your mind was in. So your parents are no different. See, but there are certain things in life that seem to that look more inherent than others, and parents are one of them. It's harder for us to see that they're just like us. They were always just like us. And they were always doing their best. And who knows what my dad was thinking his whole life about my mom. I don't know. But I can say, like, for instance, like when we were growing up, it was good to be smart in our house. You know, it was like the emphasis was put on being smart, being good at math, knowing things from books, being book smart. You know, was held in high esteem, right? But not from mom so much. It was dad. Dad was like the book guy. And I don't know how it works, but so it seemed like dad was a smart one and mom wasn't, right? So there was a dichotomy there. There was like someone was on top and someone was below. And when we play games like Pictionary or anything like that, you know, around the table, everybody's drinking, and the night goes on, and people are getting drunk, and there's, you know, if my dad and my mom were partners, it was just hilarious, because mom could never get dad's clues, never, and it would be like he would start implying that she was stupid. And you'd watch him, and his drawings would just be, you're like, no one could get those. Like, yeah, I mean, he would, like, his thing would be airplane, and he'd just calmly go down, and he'd start drawing like the rivets. You're looking at mom like she's stupid, like, you know, like, right? And so you. And then, as life went on, you know, they did split up. You know, it turns out that you know, he couldn't even pay a bill. He didn't know how to do anything. She took care of everything. So much so that when they went apart, he just moved into her basement. Because he didn't know how to do anything. So, you know, and this is all like a shocking revelation to the kids. Like, what? You know, and you know, and you're like, well, maybe mom's not so stupid. Like, I mean, kids are dumb, right? Kids are dumb. Kids are like, wow, mom's smarter than I thought. Wow, dad's not as smart as I thought he was. And then, you know, we found out all kinds of weird stuff, but we're not going to go there. But, so, you know, so this is the relationship that I grew up in. And so, how could I go out into the world then and not assume that there always has to be a higher and a lower, or something, you know, like, but definitely not equal, never equal. You know, someone's always giving and someone's always taking. Someone's got the upper hand and someone's doesn't have the upper hand. I'm not saying that this is reality. I'm just pointing out to you how it is that we can look at the world and not have a basis for even being able to fathom the concept of an equal partner. That you could be yourself with someone else totally, and give that other person that grace of allowing them to totally be themselves, and not expect something from this person. Not expect them to fill the holes that we don't even know that we have. So, the reason why I'm saying all this is that until we understand that, until we can fulfill ourselves that way, then we'll always be looking for the other person to fill them for us. It's just the way it is. We won't, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just the way it is. We have a need. And we don't understand that that need can't be fulfilled by another person. We can only wake up to our true nature. So, I was thinking that we could do in the next few classes a series of meditations that revolve around how do we reach an inner harmony that would then force the reflection of an outer harmony. How can we unite the male and the female inside of ourselves so that we can be in a relationship that feels like a union, that feels like a harmonious union? And the only, I don't know, like, where's the only, but one of the ways that we can do that is by shining a light on the things that are inside of us that we're not even aware are there about relationship, about any relationship. But for some reason, it's boy-girl these days. That's the hot thing, boy-girl, girl-boy. But it's gonna, luckily and beautifully, whatever we do in that regard is going to apply to every relationship. Like, Christina and Youngju are fortunate, and Yasmin too. They're fortunate in a sense of they work with a lot of people, and so, and they work with people that need their help. But they might not necessarily want to go out for dinner with them. They might not want to go spend the weekend with them. Might not want to move in with them. I don't really know. But, so they get to feel the things in their body. They get to feel the things in their body and their mind that would be labeling any kind of a differentiation between me and them. They will get to feel any lack of equality, any lack of equanimity in their body and mind, because they get to see it over and over again. And so the blessing of those hard examples is we get to see that in life, and it's like their job. So in a way, there's like a separation in a sense where there's a witness. It's like they have the good fortune in a way of their job position forcing them into the witness state of mind. Where this witness state of mind, which we're trying to cultivate in meditation, where you get to watch your emotions and feel the things you feel and not be affected by them, so that you can see them as they are. Because if Yasmin or Christina and Youngju were completely overthrown and affected by every single person that came to them with these serious problems, it would be hard. It would be impossible, right? How could you help them? In the same way, it's the same way in our own minds. How can we help ourselves with our own afflictions and arising emotions and things that we feel about people if we don't gain that little separation where we say, oh, I recognize you, jealousy. I recognize you. I'm going to remain calm, and I'm going to help you as best I can, Mr. Jealousy. And I'm going to try and figure out what you're all about for all of our benefits. But you're not taking me down. I mean, I'm not going to go with you on this road of jealousy. I'm going to hang out here. And that's what meditation gives you, is the ability to say, I'm going to hang out here while you do all your crazy stuff there. And we'll find out. So, in relationship, we need to find out the things that pop up in our body, in our mind, about the other person. And then that becomes our focus of meditation. And we bring that to harmony within ourselves. The more of those little bits that we can bring into harmony, along comes the relationship that feels like a harmonious relationship. Because if we don't do that, then we're just going to run into a series of relationships that seem to be causing us problems. They're not causing us problems, they're just showing you your problems. They're not causing your problems, they're just showing you the little things in your mind that you need to iron out. That's all. That's all it's for. So, I've said enough. So let's, we'll go into meditation. So you might want to shake out your feet or anything like that so you get ready. We'll do one variation of this meditation. You can start by recalling the centered feeling that you had in the last meditation. Take a little scan of your body. How relaxed is it? Is your spine nice and upright? Is your heart open and lifted? Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? We'll start. We'll just start by watching the breath at the tips of the nostrils. So you're taking your focus now. You're tuning into the physical sensation of the breath passing the nostrils in and out. Noticing if there's a tendency to want to then change the breath. Just allow the breath to be as it is. Now switching the focus, drawing the mind further back into the body by focusing once again on that center of the head, using that pinpoint of diamond light if need be. Feel your mind settle back as if you were getting further back in the seat. And then to help us get even further back, we're going to drop that focus of the diamond. Just see it move up around the head and down and then land in the heart. Maybe you'd like to see a flower and a diamond. Diamond rests falling nicely into the petals of the flower near the back of the body. And see if you can keep your attention resting back there. So it might feel like you're falling back as if you were falling back in a dream, or like maybe you were in the front seat of the car, now you're in the back seat of the car, and you're letting go of the steering wheel, but you're watching. And you start to notice the sounds in the room. Picking up on the subtle differences as time passes, the changing moments. But from this point at the heart, not leaping forward, staying back. Relax the jaw. Brighten up the mind by smiling slightly. Gentle curve of the mouth drawn upwards helps the jaw relax, brightens up the inside. So in your mind, see in front of you your mother and your father. How you remember them the most clearly. And have them turn sideways so they're actually facing each other. And try and see if you can remember. Maybe you don't. There's not a memory. Maybe it's current. How you feel that the relationship is. How are they with each other? And if you can put stand-ins in if you haven't got someone around. It can be, your most prominent male-female relationship that you grew up with or remember. And as you look at them in front of you, try and stay the witness. So stay in your heart and watch the interchange between the two of them. And notice how your body feels. Notice body sensations, mental sensations. Now, bring them closer and closer together in your mind. Closer and closer together until they actually merge into one being. However that appears for you. They may even disappear. And just take note to the feeling that you have in your body, any emotions that you have around bringing them together like that. Now, start again, see them again, this time they're apart. And this time they're facing you. They're standing side by side, actually facing you and looking at you. But they're aware of each other. And now see how it is that you feel the relationship is with you included. Now there's a trio. Notice in your mind what you're thinking, what you're assuming about their relationship between themselves, with you in it. Again, start bringing them closer and closer together until they overlap each other and then merge into one person, into one entity, one being. And notice what happens in your body and your mind as you watch this happen. Now we drop that image, and what we put in front of us now is, let's just say, two balls of light. One of them is male energy, one of them is female energy. You can think of it, one of them is the essence of what it is to be male. Another one is the essence of what it is to be female, according to you, according to your viewpoint. And just take a few moments to quickly in your mind, not too much time, but what does it mean to be the man in a relationship? What should the man be? Like anything like that you have that stands out, that's obvious. And then what does it mean to be the female in a relationship? the bright images that come up there right away. And then again, those two distinct spheres of energy in front of you in your mind, actually merge them so they become one. This whole time, doing your best to be the witness and watching how you feel in body and mind as you're doing this. Now focus on the feeling that you have, or the emotion or the feeling, whatever you would say is the most prominent right now, as you brought the two energies together, and make that feeling your new object of focus. Without trying to analyze it, just simply notice it and stay back in the heart and just look like an interested scientist, just checking it out, observing. Shift and change, to stay the same. So now we're going to let go of the meditation. And we're going to let go of the whole thing by doing another sort of a grounding thing. Is we're going to, as if we had the whole meditation hanging in the air, we're just going to drop it so that it falls and goes through the floor and keeps on going through the earth and goes right to the center, the very center of the earth. And it just melts into the molten core of the planet. And you're just left free of it right now. And we're going to open our eyes slowly and gently and just come into a new moment. Any questions about that, what we just did? Or anything, really, for that matter? Was it hard? See, for some people it's hard, and for some people it's amusing, right? And for some people it's a mixture, and for some people it's, maybe they don't get it, or it's like not pertinent. But the point is, we're looking for information. We're looking for information that we wouldn't otherwise have access to. We're looking for the signals, the feelings that are unresolved things that make up the world that we see without our awareness. Because these feelings that swim around, they are the lens we look through. They paint the very world we see. So it's you can think of it like, we're just using parents right now. We're not going to stay with that theme, but just because it's a good male and female start. It's easy to forget that you were always the one seeing them. It's easy to forget and just forget that they have their own universe. Each one of them. They don't see you the way that you think they see you. And they don't see themselves the way you think they see themselves. When they look in the mirror and their thoughts about who they are, they're not yours. And so that whatever we're looking through and the things that we assume, it's easy to forget that. And then easy to forget that even our parents are a reflection of our male and female harmony or disharmony. As functional or dysfunctional as they may appear to have been or be. Like, I'll tell you another quick little story with my dad and mom. So, it appeared to, I think, us that maybe mom was kind of alone in that relationship, a little bit, maybe. It seemed later. She talked about it later. I remember she said to me once, "Don't ever let your partner be alone in your marriage." Okay, Mom, I didn't understand what she meant by that. But you never really saw my dad dote on my mom. You never saw that. And but that's the world we lived in. It wasn't like it was weird. That's the way it was.
It also doesn't mean he didn't.
It doesn't mean he didn't, exactly. Don't know. Just don't know. Maybe they keep those things to themselves, They don't show that stuff to the kids, I don't know. But, on the other hand, they had a lot of fun. Our house was a fun house, right? In all the ways the fun house is. It was a fun house. Lots of parties and all kinds of other weird fun house things. But so later,
those freaky mirrors.
Yeah, freaky mirrors for sure. So later on, they split up, and it was funny because they were like this big, afraid to tell the kids, and we're like, well, duh. It's about time. And then they went through this long thing. Dad moved in with her, and we were all confused, and finally they went really apart. And someone who was the exact polar opposite of my dad just fell hard for my mom, and just went after her with all his might. He courted her. Right? Brian, right?
Yeah.
He courted my mother. He went to dances, and they did all the things that my mom just wished happened, but never did, right? I mean, they went golfing once in a while, me and my dad. That didn't last very long. I think the poles ended up being bent and thrown, but so, and I think that she resisted him for a certain amount of time. She did, but then she gave in. Because I think that she liked being adored. And he adored her. God, he adored her. And he was like, he would come into our family situation. He just didn't fit in. It was so weird. He was so not our scene, right? But they got married. And at the time of the wedding, it was the wedding night, and we had a beautiful wedding, and we sang it. We made this big thing, and she took me aside. Were you there when she said that? We were in the hallway upstairs, and she looks at me and she goes, "Well," "one thing about your dad, though, I miss the parties." you know, but she wasn't getting something else. She wasn't getting the love and the adoration, I guess. And sadly, Mom died. So Brian only got my mom for 2 years. 4 years total, 2 years married. Yeah. And then, it was devastating for him, And then so we had this guy with us through the whole funeral, everything. He was the guy, that was his wife that just died, and he took over, thankfully, actually, because we couldn't do anything. And he took over all the things that needs to get done when someone dies, which is a lot of stuff that you don't know until it happens. But how different would that whole thing have been if each one of my dad and my mom had have been working internally more than externally? I don't know. Like at the final years of my mom's life, she got a partner who adored her and loved her, who she clearly tolerated, right? She loved him, but she also tolerated him. And and so it's interesting to, as a son of that, to see both, to have seen both in my mother's lifetime, and what that means exactly, I don't know, but it's like a roller coaster. Like our relationships are like roller coasters, unless we get off the roller coaster. We are the roller coaster. And just like people get on the ride with us, and they're on their own roller coaster too. But we turn inward enough and notice the things. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And maybe your homework would be noticing the things that came up in that meditation, noticing the things or thinking about some of the things that popped up for you, and what do they mean for you now personally? Because it's not them. They didn't do it to you. Those feelings are your feelings. So we'll take it a step further next time. But in the meantime, in your daily meditations, if you're interested in having a harmonious relationship in the world, in any shape or form, think about some of the things that you may have experienced in those 3 types of little scenarios we did. And try and locate the certain persona that arises with it. With each, like the John, right? Or that certain John, or that certain Amanda, that you would experience in relation to that feeling. Does that make sense? Is that really vague and elusive? Make sense? Yeah.
I didn't feel anything. I didn't have any emotions or feelings. I was just watching.
Mm-hmm.
I had visuals, and I was watching things merge and things just happen,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have feelings.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't. Okay. Yeah. And so, that might not have been. We might have to use something different, right? Like we'll try something different next time. But often our parents are strong objects.
It might be because they're not together anymore, and I
Mhm.
was trying to go back to when they were together, which was many, many
Oh, yeah.
And
Maybe
then
maybe try them now.
I tried to do it then, like
Yeah.
as they are now, and that was pretty weird.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe you try them as they are now. But so you're looking for things that pop up, that it's like information. It's like information about yourself that pops up. And it's like, okay, if that self that arises, that's in relation to that feeling, wasn't there, what then? Like, could it be the same? Could you view it the same? It's like if there wasn't a self that would arise, that you experienced, that was needy, that had this thing about your boyfriend or girlfriend behaving a certain way. Like, if they don't, I don't know, text me within a certain amount of hours and send me a heart on my phone, do I have a thing about that? Like, do I have something that says, oh my God, this thing's falling apart, they don't like me anymore? And so what you're doing is you're taking the focus away from what they're doing and noticing, oh, this me arises that is expecting them to do something. And if that self that was expecting that wasn't there, what then? What then? It would be a whole other experience. So anyways, we'll stop there now, for now. So no questions at this point? Yes, sir.
What's the point of imagining or thinking about no self, or if that self isn't there when, like, that's
a good question.
all you experience?
Well, the point is.
How can you actually
Yeah.
do that?
Well,
really,
well,
can't actually do that.
Well, you can know, like, it's a method to see the impermanence of that self. It's a method to break the illusion of a permanent, unchanging self that we believe that is there. So,
But it's a hallway of mirrors, like you're basically, isn't it? Because when you try to step back from that and like without that self, then there's still that self there, and
yeah, but it's
like you're still looking at it from your perspective.
Right, and that's true, but the exercise is to continue doing that until you go further. You're forced into going far enough back to realizing, well, there isn't one really. There isn't one that you can point to that's you, that you can say is you, and then you get it. Oh wow, I am not that jealous. I am not that jealous person. I'm not none of those things that come, because they come and they go. They come and they go. They come and they go. And
because you can keep going infinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then because it's those, because when they come up and they feel like they are what we are,
yeah,
they have great influence over our behavior and mind. And so we want to bring those things into harmony by, having the big boss be the boss, meaning like the deepest mind, the one that is, we could talk all night about that, but the ultimate mind, which, it's not even really mind, but where all your experience arises from. And that's the one thing that is always there, and everything else is coming and going and coming and going and coming and going, and so we can, right? Anyways. Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was great.
Okay, sorry for going over a bit, but time seems to fly.
Yes.
Sean, you can just go.
I have to. I'm actually, my mom's in town, so I'm meeting
Yeah.
her at
Go.
9 downtown. We like dinner, so.
Late dinner, yeah.
All right, well,
Yes.
you.
Where do you put all these things?
We have devices.
You have devices.
Yeah.
You need Bill's guides.
Oh,
There's
so exciting. What do we do with our cups? I thought we could put out there and
Right. We need to volunteer to wash the cups, right?
wash them.
Yasmin.
Yes, man. Right.